Algebra 2, today we're going to be doing factoring by grouping 4 terms. This on the note says review, quickly factor this. I skipped this part, so don't worry about that review. The reason why is Algebra 2 team is going to teach multiple ways to factor. I'm basically going to teach one way to factor. It's a universal way that basically factors everything. So it's a little more tedious than some of the methods, but it works for every single problem. So we're going to start by factoring a polynomial with 4 terms. A polynomial is essentially referring to an equation with multiple variables, essentially more or less. You can look up the exact definition, but suffice it to say that example 1, this is a polynomial. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing, what it means by factoring. So we have been working on things like this the past couple of days. We have worked on something like, I'm going to write it, you don't have to write this down. But let's say I had 4x squared plus 2x plus 2x. You see that right there? If I said, hey, factor out the GCF, the greatest common factor. Now at this point, y'all should be able to know what to do. Ask yourself, do both these terms have letters, variables? The answer is yes. So we take out the smallest one, which is x to the 1. So we bring that out. There's x. Are these two numbers divisible by anything? The answer is yes. It's 2. And so then 4 divided by 2 is 2. This leaves us with an x here, and then a plus 1. That's what we're left with when it's all said and done. We've been doing this the past couple of days. Some of y'all have the hang of this already. Some of you do not. We need this skill, so make sure you practice this. This is what factoring out a term looks like. So on this grouping by terms thing, this factoring polynomials, what we're going to be doing is, you see right here how this is one equation, one string of it, and then down here, we essentially have it broken into pieces. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take an equation like this, and we're going to break it down into pieces. And so the question is, how do we do that? Step 1, factor out the GCF. This is a very important one, but you'll notice in this example, there is no GCF. There is no GCF. And the reason why you can do that, you can ask yourself a question. Number 1, do all of these terms have a letter, yes or no? No, you can't take out a letter. Do all of these terms have a similar divisor? And the answer is no. 2 doesn't go into 3, 3 doesn't go into 4, 3 doesn't go into 8, etc. So there is no GCF here. So the next step we have to do is we have to make 2 groups of binomials. Binomials, that word binomials, meaning 2 terms. See how that has 2 terms up there? 2 groups of binomials that have common factors. So how to do that, essentially, is just like this. I'm going to go ahead and write this equation out. It's 3x cubed plus 6x squared. See if I can get my pen to cooperate. 3x cubed plus 6x squared. And then, for the first 2 terms, and make sure they're in order. Notice how it goes x third, x to the squared, x to the 1. We want to make sure our terms are in order to do this. So they're going to be pretty easy problems in the very first bit of this, but you'll know this. So I'm going to say right now, if I were to just leave the answer like this is bad math. This is bad because you'll notice I've erased that positive sign right here, and this now looks like it's multiplying each other. This is not multiplying each other. We're just setting up this problem to help us answer this. So don't be like, oh, check it out, I've set it up, it's done. No, this is just step 1, and it's technically mathematically incorrect. Because now this looks like we're multiplying everything together, and we're not. So keep in mind this is just a process. Now that these have been broken down into 2 pieces, I can look at the 2 pieces separately. So on the first one, I'm going to take a GCF out. So this 3x cubed plus 6x squared, I'm going to take the GCF out. In this case, both numbers are divisible by 3. And then do both numbers have a letter? The answer is yes. I can take out the smallest letter. So I know they're both divisible by 3. And then the smallest letter is x to the squared. So that leaves me, when I factor this out, with an x right here. And then because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then 3 minus 2 is 1, so you can leave those ones out. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then 2 minus 2 for the x's is 0, which means there's no x's here. So we can do it like that. Let's go to the next one. I can factor out a positive 4 on this next one. So I'm factoring out a positive 4. That's if I can write this well enough. And what happens is 4 divided by 4 just leaves me with 1x. And then I have 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Now check it out, which is cool. I'm going to underline this in red. You will notice something. This and this are the same. right here. This and this are the exact same. So this allows us to do something pretty cool. We can now basically factor this term out. What that means is pull it out. So watch how I do that. Here we go. I'm kind of make two groups. Oh, I did the work in the wrong spot. Hold on, let me move the work in the right spot. All right, I moved the work where it's supposed to go. Sorry for your notes. You'll have plenty of other examples to get it right. Now, factor out the GCF from each polynomial, which we did. And the first one, it was 3x squared. The second one, it was 4. And now it's saying factor out the common binomial, which means pull out that x plus 2. So here's what that looks like. I'm just going to show you the final step. You can basically rip out this x plus 2, and it leaves you with a 3x squared plus 4. So when you have something like this, the answer, you pull it out, you end up with x plus 2. That gets removed like this. And then what that leaves is a 3x squared plus 4. And then now it says rewrite factors. We like to write the biggest polynomial or the biggest variable first. So in this case, it's x squared. And then you basically have your answer. You have now successfully factored this stuff. So that's that. That's the basics of this. I'm going to do more examples. So I'm going to have every example on this notes in a video. So good luck.